Oh, I think we can start, right? Eric, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Hello everyone. Welcome to our Friday studio talk. I'm Lexi, a member of the Association of International Media at ASU, where we focus on the culture and the diversity awareness through the film and media. Today, we invite a very special guest for our studio talk to share their musical life and story. So they are Josiel Perez and his mentor, Professor Lambert. So please welcome Josiel and Professor Lambert.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shinwei and Kevin.
Um,
Thank you.
and Josiel is currently working on his PhD in music education at ASU. Prior, he earned a master's degree in film scoring and a Master of Arts in teaching. In 2010, he was awarded with bachelor degrees in music in Cuba. Since 2007, he has been a professional musician touring in Europe, the Caribbean, Asia, the United States, and Canada, and also performing in jazz and world music festivals. Additionally, he was a part of cast for the movie Shape in 2015. In the future, he would like to help more immigrant communities to achieve their dreams. So, Josel, before we start our talking, could you please introduce Professor Lambert, who is a very important person to you?
Absolutely. Miss Lambert is a professor in New York. Miss Lambert holds two masters from Columbia University. She's a coach. She coaches people that, especially in the business area, she has her own agency where she teaches many people how to uh, especially grow, protect, and save their wealth. And she's a wonderful entrepreneur, a wonderful person, a visionary woman. And I have the honor and the pleasure to have her here today in this amazing interview. Thank you, Ms. Lambert.
Thank you, Josel, and
Thank you.
let's welcome Professor Lambert again. And thank you for her time.
Thank
Um,
you. It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me here, for the opportunity to be in this show with you. It is an honor, and I really appreciate it for giving me a few minutes to be here with Josiel. And definitely looking forward to keep enjoying this opportunity and sharing some information later on.
Thank you. And okay, Josel, let's start with you. Could you please introduce yourself?
Absolutely. My name is Josiel Perez. I'm from Cuba. I was born in Cuba. I did my bachelor degree in music, especially trumpet performance in Cuba. And then I did that part of the transition that I have was like, coming to the United States. But then I would like to talk about that maybe later. Let's see.
And you talked about you grew up in Cuba, right?
Absolutely.
Could you please talk about what the Cuba is like and what it is meant for you to be a Cuban?
Absolutely. Cuba is an island in the Caribbean, and our population is a mixed population. We have Hispanic and African heritage, and also for different areas in Asia as well. Our culture is rich in, especially Afro-Cubans and Spanish instrument, and how many of the slave and also part of the population from Spain, they live together and they create this awesome culture that we call it sometimes in some areas in the Caribbean, the Creole or the mulatto. So it's a diverse population, and also very happy. We love, especially outbeat music. We love food. We love talking, and we love the community. So I think that is a short definition of what it's like being a Cuban.
So it's like a multicultural country, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like the
Absolutely.
food, and I want one day I can go to there to try.
Absolutely.
And could you please talk about how and why you came to the United States?
Absolutely. I was touring. With one of the bands in Cuba, and at that time we went. I remember we went around 28 cities
Mhm.
around the United States touring. After that, we had a break, and I have some friends in New Mexico, Albuquerque. I'm decided, okay, I'm gonna stay there for a month. It was like a break during the this awesome tour that I had at that time. I started performing in New Mexico, Albuquerque, with some friends, and then I say, wow, I really like this country. I would love to live here and expand my career and continue uh, studying here in the United States. However, it was challenging. It was challenging because at that time we didn't have the best relationship between both countries. I remember during the Obama administration, they were talking about how to improve the relationship, but at that time I had two options. Okay, or I go back to Cuba or I decide to stay. So my parents didn't know about it. So it was a sudden decision, and I just decided to stay. And the whole band went back to Cuba. It was a very gigantic step because it's a new country, a new culture. But here we are.
Um, and uh, could you please talk about how you came to be the person you are today? Like you said, you came here with the band, and then so what bands are you playing for?
Absolutely. I always say that it was what I call a healthy obsession of being better, of finding ways to really be around successful people, be around successful mentors and trainers, and I'm lucky, and because to be able to be surrounded by great people that I especially because I don't know the culture, I need to. There is stages. I believe that immigrants, especially professional immigrants, when we arrive to a new country, we have stages. We get here, and then we have to learn from the culture. We have to understand the culture. We have to really find a way to assimilate the culture. So yes, I think the being surrounded by the right people, I think is what helped me succeed in this country.
Oh, okay, thank you. So how long have you been playing the, because I know that your major instrument is the trumpet, right? How long have you been playing the trumpet?
Right now, around 22 years.
Wow.
Yes, 22 years. I started younger, but I remember my uncle. He was very structured with me. He was a person that say you have to be the best. You have to be strategic when you practice. At that time, I didn't know about metacognition, but he was one of the ones. He told me you need to sit and think about how you perform, how you play, how you study, and he was a really tough teacher, but
Mhm.
it was what we call tough love. Then I realized that his tough love allowed me to tour with him. I arrived to the United States with him because he allowed me to. He's a saxophone player. I came from a musician family, and he's a great saxophone baritone sax player.
Mhm.
But at the same time, in the beginning, it was him who introduced me to this amazing world of music, and especially the trumpet.
So you mentioned about your uncle and the family. Uh, are you family musical?
Yes,
So
my
yes, please.
yes, my grandpa, my grandfather, he was a flute player. He played flute. My uncle, Andres Perejane, he plays baritone sax. He plays flutes as well. my uncle Fernando Perez, he also plays flute. And my dad, he has an amazing, Jose Antonio Perez, he has an amazing voice. He's not a professional musician, but I was lucky to hear him when I was a child singing songs for me, and that is a big influence for me. He's a great influence as well for me.
Wow. So your family could be a family band, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
And besides your family members, who or what will inspire you to play the trumpet and to be a person you today?
Yes, that's a great question, Chinwe, because and in the beginning, I was in love with piano.
Wow.
Yes, I was in love with piano. I was watching the TV and I was imitating how people perform. I was imitating the way I played they play their hands. I tried to imitate them. Yes. So what happened? And then I applied for this very um, prestige school in Cuba, especially in my city. They have what we call vocational school. It's more for arts, music, the arts and music, but they have only four candidates. There were only four candidates. I was the number five, so I wasn't able to get the scholarship. And then I remember later on, I went back and I tried. Okay, I would like to see if I can study music, because in Cuba it's a more tracking system. You start as a musician since you are a little boy, like maybe 7 years old, all your life. It's a career. So then one of my professors at that time, Alberto, he saw me. He said, "Wow, you have a big body. I think you should play trumpet, trombone, tuba." And I say, "Okay, trumpet, that would be great." So this is where I started with trumpet.
Oh, so that is like um, the teacher like introduced you to the trumpet, right?
Yes.
So how could you tell me more about how you like you start with the trumpet? Is there any moment that you think it's too hard and you want to give up it, but somebody encourage you, something like that?
Absolutely. I think it was challenging because I had to decide, or I go and play soccer or baseball with my friends, or I practice my trumpet. So I say, my uncle recommended me to be especially to be disciplined. Every time I decided to practice my trumpet, it might have to be like almost 8 hours a day.
Wow.
So from 8 to 12, 4 hours, and then from 2 to 5, and sometime like that range. But I needed to practice. I needed a structure. I needed discipline. And I learned that from my uncle. It was challenging, but it was rewarded, because then when I was 19, I started traveling to, for example, to other countries in the Caribbean, Barbados and Jamaica, and then after that I went on another tour to Europe, and I started traveling. So I believe in if you will have a purpose, it's important to be really disciplined and have a structure and have very a purpose. Why am I doing this? And become almost upset, like this healthy obsession of I want to do it. I want to be the best, or one of the best, not for people, for me, because I want to be able to share my art, and a high quality art. And that requires hours of training, hours of practice. And that I think that challenge allowed me to become better. And I still am not there. I'm continuing practicing and learning every day.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. So you think for the kids or the children um, who meet the challenging during their learning in their musical learning, that you encourage them to find their music achievements, what they really want to do in the music learning, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I believe that they need to really love what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
That's true.
what we call healthy obsession is when we really love what we do, And we are dedicated to do that because then we will be able to share value with people. But in order for us to share values, there is a preparation first. There is a discipline that we create at home. And then after that, we can share that value with the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Could you tell me what is your favorite band?
Absolutely, absolutely. One of my favorite bands is Air, Wind, Fire, because it's a band that their music is so alive and with so much energy. And I always admire the Air, Wind, and Fire, especially also Chicago band as well. And I had the opportunity to open for Chicago. I remember in 2013 in at Aspen Jazz Festival. I had the opportunity to open for Chicago, so that was an amazing experience as well.
Are they a jazz band or
Um, I Air, Wind, Fire is more what we call pop and sometimes R&B, but Chicago's rock is rock. It's
oh
a
wow.
rock band. Yes,
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not very familiar with the the American band.
it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Yes.
Um, so what were some of your besides the one that you shared before? So what was some other most favorite moments while playing the trumpet or composing the music in your life?
Absolutely. I remember my grandpa, he one day he told me, Miguel Perez, when you're playing, you need to see, you need to pay attention to your audience and pick a person there at the audience and make sure that person is enjoying what you do. That person is connecting with you. That person is feeling each note that you are playing. And that is a power of music that allows us as musicians to share not only value but also to connect with the audience.
So you think the relationship between the artist and the audience is very important in the in music life, right? And
Absolutely.
we need to use the music to convince and deliver information and convince emotions.
Absolutely. Music has been a platform for a long time, but not only for many activists. You know, we are talking about Jimi Hendrix, we are talking about Bob Dylan, and many of them. Art and music is have influence in masses, and I think we are lucky because we get to share many different beliefs and many feelings, universal feelings through music that we can do in other professions. And so this is why we are so lucky as musicians, because we get to really get to masses and it depends how we use the message. What is behind the message? And so this is why I love what I do, because as a musician I get to share different messages and I get to really connect with people, and I really get to really have this connection with the audience.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the some audience are curious about how you teach your learners or the students about what you're talking about, like convince the information through the music, especially for the beginners.
Absolutely. I think it's important to have fun. I believe in having fun in the classroom. What I mean with having fun, it means bringing not only content with quality in the class, having, you know, having prepared a great content, but also making sure we as teachers, we enjoy, as the student enjoy the process of learning. And I believe in informal learning. I love when the students, you know, when I give an activity to the students that they start experimenting, exploring, and thinking about activities. And I love that because allow them to be independent and to really grow uh, uh, and I'm there just to guide them. This is why, Chinwe, you are also professor. You know the importance of really let the students become independent thinkers and think about critical thinking, collaborate in the classroom, share ideas, explore. So all of those ideas are part of my teaching philosophy.
Yeah, that's true. Even though we are working with the little kids, but I think we should like treat them as adults because they could be independent thinkers and critical thinkers. So that's important. Um, okay. I remember you said the Professor Lambert influenced and inspired you a lot. Could you share how you met each other and how you work together?
Absolutely. Miss Lambert and I, we met in California through a successful businesswoman, a common friend that we had in California. And then after that, you know, when two people are talking and then there is something that we call it, there is a connection, you know, among those people that is higher. Ms. Lambert, we were talking about that today. How sometimes when we talk, there is a connection sometimes that is higher than the ideas that we are talking because we connect energies, we connect concepts. So after that, Ms. Lambert is in New York and I'm here in Arizona, but we kept uh, talking during all these years. And then after the quarantine started, I remember we start talking about what is next. What is next? I remember talking to her about Miss Lambert. I have been studying. I have been now as a professional immigrant. I'm doing my PhD. However, something is missing in my life. Something is missing, and that moment we had this great conversation about, well, my mindset need to grow, especially during this time. How am I sure at the end of this quarantine, I have a new skill? I have something to share with people, something positive. How am I sure my mindset grows during this time? So I'm grateful because Ms. Lambert has been a wonderful mentor for me. And yes, I would like her to share some of her experiences.
Thank you, Josiel, and thank you everyone who's watching us. Thank you so much for connecting. This is wonderful. I want to say thank you, Professor Lee and Josiel, for giving me this amazing opportunity to speak, to connect to all of you, all the way from New York to wherever you are. But that's beautiful. This is where we are, and actually, this connects exactly to what Josiel and I are talking about: expanding, changing, getting new skills. Coronavirus has been a disaster, and my heart goes to all of you that have been suffering a lot. But also have brought us to a different level. It has forces many people, depending on the age and where they are, to upgrade themselves. So now here we are connected, making the world a lot smaller.
Mhm.
So thank you. Josiel and I had, like you said, been very connected all the time. One of the projects that we came together and we put our head together and we realized, speaking about the corona and the impact that it's having in the society. And one of the impact is financial impact. Most people in the United States are heavily in debt. They don't have any emergency funds. And because I work, I teach communication and politics. However, my other side is teaching, educating people in financial literacy. I teach people how to manage their finances correctly. And that's something that I've been doing for a long time. So Josiel and I are actually working right now on a project that connect directly with his book, and that is the immigrant population that come in here from other countries, especially Cuba. When I was start talking to Josiel about finances, you got to understand, in Cuba, they don't have commercials. They don't have banks like over here. He had no idea what that was like. So we realized and we start talking that people that come from different parts of the world, they need education in finance because most of them come here for a dream, not just the American dream of buying a house, many different dreams. dreams for the family, their children. And the one common denominator among that is finance, money. And we find that our immigrant people, I am an immigrant. I worked at McDonald's when I got here very young after high school. I had all kinds of different jobs, but I put myself to school. It was not easy, but the same story is the story of every immigrant. So what Josiel and I envision is that doesn't matter where immigrants come from. We want to have a platform, and anyone hearing this, please, if you have ideas, we're willing to hear. We're talking about all kinds of immigrants, learning how the financial industry of the United States, which regardless, yeah, the United States is not perfect, but is the strongest. How can we tap into that? Because when we are immigrant, we don't have the language skill to understand all this fancy English. We get intimidated by these gigantic buildings and people that are so fancy. So Josiel and I aspire to knock down some of those barriers. We aspire to train people and tell them how they can grow their money, how they can save it, not to buy into all these needs, just buy because I want. And they don't understand that they've been just dragged into this spending habit that doesn't help them. So that's something that we work and we enjoy working on that. So we're working very diligently almost every day in expanding and working and teaching. I do some financial literacy workshops. Now we are going to be doing it together because we are immigrants. So if we can learn, if we can actually have a better life, and we are learning a lot. I mean, he continued being a musician, I continue being a professor, but at the same time, why should we be only one thing? Why should we be only professor? Why should you only be musician? We can be many things, right? And that's what we are working on. So we are so excited. We are looking to touch many lives and teaching them, because when you come to this country, you don't know how it works. It takes years for people to understand how to create a budget. People don't know how to create a budget. They don't know what is a 401k for the family, for their in their job. They just signed anything. And right now there is an issue. After coronavirus, there'll be a lot of problems with jobs, retirement, finance, and we know that our people are going to be hit the hardest. So this is important. This is something that I am willing to speak to anybody who invite me. I am willing and to put the effort because we need to communicate. And again, I believe that we are not from any place. We are simply from planet Earth, and that's what I believe. So from any part of the world, I'm here, and my heart is to help and guide people in education, financial literacy. So, Josiel is a great friend, and I coach him, yes, but it's amazing. It's an amazing experience. And I want to say, I enjoy Josiel listening to what your uncle did to you. Now I got it, where you got that discipline. He's very disciplined. He listens and he apply everything at the speed of instructions. So he's amazing to work with. I tell you, he's amazing.
Yes, Professor Lambert, I got a question from the audience. How the music, how the music helped to improve the financial issues in the current situation? Like this in your, what do you think about this?
Oh, well, I am an actress, but I am not a musician. So I connected with Josiel through different venue. I'm an actress, but not a musician. However, what I can say is that some of the discussion that Josiel and I had is that how difficult it is right now for artists. Artists are suffering a lot. And this is the reason why we believe in diversifying our own personal skills. We need to diversify. We cannot put all our effort into only one venue. So this is a very hard time. However, I always believe that when you create a group, that person that is asking the question will say, sit down with other musician, brainstorm, create projects, do something else. Just because you don't have a live stage, that doesn't mean you cannot touch lives. Look how we are touching lives to this venue. So let's do something different that you can make money and you can actually touch lives. So don't get just depressed. There is still a lot of us that need to hear your tone, your music, your notes. So let's hear it.
Yeah. What do you think about this, Jose?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's important to, it depends all about the, like I said before, about the mindset. if we think that, especially what happened to me is like, I switch this ideology of just being a musician. I say, wait a minute. I'm, 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 I'm practicing at home. I'm playing for people, to people, but however, how we can make an impact in society through teaching, how I can share what I learned from my uncle, what I learned from my professors here and also in Cuba. I can share that because I think the power is in sharing.
Yeah.
And then the next level is to know that there is more to learn. And then if, for example, we are talking about the business of music, I had to learn how to make a contract by myself. Any festival that I play, sometime I had to read this contract and know how many musicians I will hire, how much I'm gonna pay them by myself. Because sometimes we don't get that type of education sometimes in public schools. We don't get finance in education sometimes in many public schools. So I had to learn that by myself. And that started my entrepreneur part. Oh, what is a contract? How much I pay? How much each musician get paid? How much I pay in taxes? But I make a lot of mistakes because I didn't know. So my mindset is growing right now. I'm not only a musician, I also a teacher, a professor, but now I'm an entrepreneur that I can help all the musicians, my students, and how to not only know about music, but the business within music. And how's like become an entrepreneur, especially during this time. So I think it's connected. I think it's all about mindset, how we connect everything, because everything is connected in different ways.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. And the financial issue is very tough thing for, especially the person who are coming to the new country, the new place. They are very they are not familiar with the entire environment and very nervous about the new life. That is true. And here is a question for Professor Lambert. And the audience are curious about how you describe the Josiel as the educator or the partner.
I don't know if you guys can hear me okay. Can you hear me okay?
The signal is not connect very well.
No, I had to restart my computer.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Yes, I'll be right back if you guys still here.
Wait, Josiel?
Yes, absolutely.
We can keep going and let's keep going and waiting the Professor Lambert. So, okay, let's move on. You are also a teacher, right? And let's talk about some of your teaching. Wait. Okay, here, this question we may waiting for the Professor Lambert. Let's keep going. So can you tell me where you teach if anybody wants to take some of your classes? Josiel? Okay, I think the internet may disconnect. Okay, let's waiting for a few minutes. Okay. So for this moment, I would like to talk about our clubs, Association of the International Media at ASU. So we focus on the culture things and diversity, and through the film and medias. Wait a moment. I got a message from the Josiel. Right, so if you guys are interested in the film and the arts in the culture and multicultural things, the diversity, whatever, welcome to join our clubs. So we are very friendly members that work together. Yes, I think Jose is connect again.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Mhm.
Okay, we keep going. So you're also a teacher, as I said. So can you tell me where you teach if anybody wants to take some classes with you?
Absolutely. Currently, I am teaching at Arizona State University. I'm teaching non-music major courses, one course a semester. Also, I'm teaching at Paradise Community College. There, I teach the class Latin Jazz Ensemble, usually Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Thank you. So if you guys are very interested in taking a class with Jose, you got something. And here's a question from the audience. How do you go about choosing the right mentor for you?
How, one more time, please?
How do you go about choosing the right mentor for you? So how you choose, yeah.
That's a great question. I think the right mentor will improve the way I think, will challenge me, will guide me through, that person will guide me through different paths and will teach me how to succeed in such areas. Sometimes we have blind spots that we don't see. So our mentor help us to have a smooth journey during our career. So this is important. First, have to be a great relationship with that mentor. Secondly, we have to be able to be coachable. And third, if that mentor allows us to grow, especially our mindset, I think we discovered that we will have a great mentor.
Thank you. And the audience are curious about what inspired you to be a teacher?
That's a great question, Chinwe. As you're a professor as well. I think what inspired me to be able to later see how my students grow. For example, I received a call, an email from one of my former students in California that he's doing great right now. He's playing his trumpet, and now he started his own business. He creates mouthpiece for trumpet, and he sells that online. So when he sent that video, that email to me, that is the biggest satisfaction I had in my whole life. Because knowing that we are making an impact in other life, I think that is big, that is huge. So I believe in legacy. I believe in legacy because, and that is the legacy that we leave to the world, seeing our students succeed.
Thank you. Here are two questions from the audience. Isa Williams. So the audience curious about how do you plan on working with or doing more music for film?
That's a great question. Yes, I would love to continue writing music for films. Right now, I'm in the process of getting ready for that because I think, there is a stages in life. However, I'm always studying, listening to great composers, film composers, and making sure by the time that I start writing again, I will be, I'm gonna have something, my goal, hopefully, I will have something new, original, and really make something that really make an impact in the industry.
And here's a question for you and Professor Lambert. So, like Jose, how do you get someone to agree to be your mentor?
Yes, I think it has to be first, like I said before, the person has to be coachable.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, when Miss Lambert decided that she wanted to be my coach, I needed to give up my own ego and my own desire to do things independently. So this is the compromise. I think it's about commitment. I'm committed to listen to my mentor. I'm committed to listen, even though I disagree sometimes, but I had to say, she's doing this because she really believes in me and she cares about me.
My apologies, guys, that I had to leave, but something was happening with my internet. I don't know why, and I had to leave, and I couldn't even answer your question. Professor Lee, could you please repeat that question? I couldn't answer.
Yeah, the audience are curious about, even though this question is asked to Josel, but I think you have some ideas about that. So how does the Josel gets you to agree to be his mentor?
Okay. Well, it's interesting. I have been approached many times by young students and women, especially women, because I care a lot about equality. And sometimes I have young girls that I have helped, and it's interesting. But I interview them. I need to know who they are. And if you have someone that had never overcome anything in life, it's not worth my time. I want to speak to people that have overcome obstacle. I want to see that they are people of commitment. I want to know that these are people that are of respect. Respect is big for me. Just because I am Josiel's friend and mentor, when we are talking as mentor, is very different when we're talking as friends. And he knows the division. He knows when it's like, okay, I'm not your mentor, we are friends and we can joke and we can laugh hysterically. But when we are mentoring him, his mind is there. When I give him an assignment, he accomplished the assignment on time. But he showed me from the beginning that he was looking, that he wanted guidance. And that is great when you want a mentor, is study the person first. Who is that you want? How do you see yourself connected to the person? If you feel that there is a connection, go out. Tell the person, I would like to take you out to lunch. Get to know the person if you don't know the person. Ask questions. What are your values? How do you think? How you solve problems? And I interview him. Can you tell me a time when did you overcome? For him, it was very easy. Staying in another country and on the spur of the moment and not even knowing your parents and succeeding and actually acquiring 2 master's degree, working on a PhD, learning the language. I don't have too much to ask. But when I am tutoring or mentoring other people, I make sure that we have a connection
Mm-hmm.
because it's very important that you connect at different levels as human being, as friend. Maybe you want that person to have the same value spiritually, you know, and in so many other areas. So it's good to have a mentor. I had mentors in my life too, and I love that's why I believe in giving back.
Thank you for sharing those very valuable thoughts. And here's another question for you. Why did you choose to come to America compared to other countries?
Yes, for myself.
For you and the Professor Lambert.
Okay, go ahead, Josiel. You go first.
Oh, thank you, Ms. Ambe. Yes, I decided to move to the United States because I think here, United States is what I call a country that allows us to really be open to learn, to grow, and have certain freedom, because also there is freedom, but there is responsibilities.
Yes.
There is a balance. You know, I love freedom, but then I love also responsibilities. So the United States allowed me not to have limits in my thinking, allowed me to be freely the way I think, but allowed me to be responsible as well. Because every word that I say, every note that I play, I'm responsible for what the other person will get from that. Will understand with that. So this is why I'm here in the United States, because there is no limit. Here we don't have limits. We can accomplish as much we can. As long as we work hard, we are honest, and we are responsible. This is a great country to live.
Well, in my case, it's different. My family started migrating when I was a child because of political reason. I only have one brother, and when I was born, there was a lot of political turmoil. So my mom decided to sell the only thing she had, her home. And I kind of had to grow up without a home called my own because of that. So it was tough. It was a tough childhood. So I knew when my brother came here, then I had a sister that it could be like my mom. She also migrated. I always knew that I was going to leave the country. I knew that my mom has suffered a lot because of political turmoil. So I came in here just because my family was migrating, but they left me behind until I finished high school. So I knew one thing, and I got to tell you, deep in my heart, what I wanted to do was to wear jeans and never to do anything to my hair. I want to have crazy hair and a backpack. Believe it or not, that was the only thing I wanted. I just wanted that freedom of being me without so many restriction. And when I came here, I realized that it was not the same way that people tell you it is. It's very difficult. You have a lot of social challenges. One of them is that I didn't know I was Black. No idea. No idea. I was born in the Dominican Republic, and over there is everybody's mixed. So I had no idea. One was discrimination. I had never experienced that. And that was very shocking. But that didn't stop me. That didn't stop me. Continue. I went to school, graduated. I worked in amazing places like the United Nations or the Department of State. Nothing stopped me because it's not what people think. If someone thinks something wrong of me, they have a know me. So I don't believe that I have a problem, someone else has it. So that's what pushed me here. And I have always been involved in my community and working with a lot of different people because I believe in equality. It's that simple. Yeah. But I don't believe in political parties, by the way. No, I believe in human beings. Like Lee is my sister. I don't care you look different. You're my sister because you're human. So that's all I believe.
Thank you. Oh, the time is run so fast. um, yeah. Okay. So even though we have a lot of questions for you, but right now, could you? I heard you wrote a book together, right? Can you tell us the audience about your book and what is it?
Absolutely. My book is about how to help professional immigrants when they arrive to the United States. My book is a guide that will help many immigrants, professional immigrants like us, all of us here almost in this call, I assume, to really share your your stories and experiences. What I share there is stories about related with not only about how to assimilate a new culture, like Ms. Lambert say. Here, I discovered the really issue of being a Black man in this country. I also share stories of how to overcome uh, poverty, how to become a better human being, how to really, where are the sources, where immigrants can go and find sources for them so they become better citizens, but not only they integrate in the society, but not only integrate, but also they become part of maybe middle class or maybe entrepreneurs. And so I give it, it's a guide that have resources for many immigrants, especially professional immigrants. We will have a book release this on June 19. If you allow me, Shinwe, I would like to share a short PowerPoint.
Please.
So we will have, yes, absolutely. Yes. On June 19 at 6 p.m., Ms. Lambert and I will be talking about this book that I wrote, and we're gonna give a lot of information for many professional and non-professional immigrants. So I invite all our guests to be there because I think you will get great ideas, you will get content, you will get value. We will be able to share so much value with people that that I really I think is going to be important for many people. So also would like to share my information in case you would like to contact me. Also, I will be able to share Ms. Lambert information. This is my email, this is my phone number, personal cell phone, and also my website.
And I think Josiel, you can, whoever contact you, then you can send the link for the book program that we are going to do. Yeah,
Absolutely.
we're pretty excited about that.
Thank you so much. Absolutely.
Thank you for sharing this information. And Jose, any events come up to let the audience know where to watch a performance or?
Yes, everything depends on this situation that we have right now, unprecedented situation that we have right now. Hopefully, we'll be able to be at Chandler Jazz Festival in 2021. So I will keep everyone posted about it. Yes.
Yeah, if the audience are interested in it, they can follow your website and you get the new information updates. So is there something you want to say to the audience for following their passions or etc.?
One more time, please.
Is there any something that you want to say to the audience for their following their passions?
For their
just as something that you want to say to your audience, like.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I want everybody to take notes, okay? This is important what I'm gonna do. This is gonna be my final thought, okay? Here we go.
Okay.
Please be obsessed about what you really want. That's first. Secondly, make sure your mindset is growing every single day. Okay? And the third one, most important, leave a legacy. We don't know how much you're going to be here. So there is an amazing quote that says, the time is too short and we live time is very short. So please, let's do big things for our society. Let's leave a legacy and let's be as better as possible.
Professor Lambert, is there anything that you want to say to the audience?
Well, it's hard when your mentee, puts some big shoes in front of you to say. But actually, following up on what Josiel is saying, I do believe that, excuse the music, because this is the city. I'm here next to a window, and it's a lot of noise. But I will say that everyone has something to give. Do not conform to any square, a cube, any place that people say that's where you belong. You are Chinese, you are Korean, you Cuban, you are a woman, you are skinny, you fat, you're tall. That's not true. Inside of you, you gotta find your gifts. When you came to this earth, there are certain gifts that only you can give, and only you can give it in a certain way. Josiel has the gift of the trumpet, and nobody can play like him. He's an amazing player. And I am not one that was fond of trumpet, but I love the way he played the trumpet because he gives his life in every note. So it's the same thing. I'm sure that you teach us Lee like nobody else can teach those children. I'm sure that I have my gifts. So everyone in here tonight, before you go to bed, do me a favor, write some of those five gifts that you know that only you can do it the way God has given it to you. What can you give to the earth, to the world? So if you can do that and pursue it, like Josiel said, with passion, don't be obsessed about sharing it, that would be great. I only have 2 minutes, but I got to tell you, I did that. I filtered who I was, who am I? And what I found out was that I was a person that loved giving and teaching. That's my legacy. My legacy is to pour myself into my mentees. And my legacy is to help people doing better financially. Not because I adore money, but because in the society in which we live, I cannot provide you food unless I have enough for myself, right? So we have the responsibility, going back to you, Josiel, be responsible to build ourselves, to build wealth in any way, shape, or form. Maybe some people $1,000, $10,000, doesn't matter. But we have a responsibility to help someone along our life. So that's what I want you guys to remember. It is not about me, it's all about you.
Thank you. And some audience may miss some information. They ask when is the book launch?
It's going to be on June 19.
June 19. Okay,
At 6 p.m.
Pacific Standard Time.
Pacific Standard Time, yes.
Good. Okay, today we will end our talk today with a song playing by Josiel. And let's welcome.
Yes.
Wow, thank you. And
Thank you.
again,
Awesome.
Thank you, Professor Lambert and Josiel, joining us today and to share this amazing story and information.
Thank you so much, Kevin, and thank you so much, Shinwet. Amazing, amazing interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for having us here today. We look forward to see you again.
Yeah, see you.
Thank you. See
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.